pisses me off. Not because I'm soft. I'm not soft. But if you want to wrestle, let's wrestle. If you have a problem with me, let's settle it. If you can't beat me on the mat, try to beat me in the parking lot. But if you can't beat me on the mat, I doubt you can do much to me in the parking lot.
The previous administration took all the guys, wink, wink.
I just want some ice cream, man. I just want some ice cream.
Welcome back to the Shots Fired podcast, folks. This is episode 5. We actually have it counted out today. Look at us being all sorts of professional and whatnot. I am Eric Schares alongside Mack Reiter. I guess I just want to say before I forgot, make sure you give us 5 stars on the ratings in the podcast.
Unsubscribe and resubscribe.
Yeah, just like part of my take. But yeah, give us 5 stars. If you don't want to give us 5 stars, just leave. Stop listening to us. We don't need you. Go away. 5 stars.
But keep downloading the episodes.
Give us 5 stars. So, all right. I guess without further ado, how have things been with you, Mac, the last week?
They're doing great, man. Weather's good. This time of year is so fun because like you can't be in a bad mood. You walk outside, it's impossible to be in a bad mood right now.
Mm-hmm.
We hit 60 for the first time this year over the weekend. It's all is well, man.
You still have snow up there?
There is, yep. Yeah, there's some piles of snow. I mean, there's some piles that are absurd. They're 5 feet tall still, 6 feet tall. Like that a couple weekends ago when we got that 17 inches, it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, I've never seen that amount of snow. And I know, obviously there's parts, off Lake Effect in Michigan or Illinois and Indiana that get more than that. So, and obviously Colorado. But for up here, 17 inches is just an absurd amount of snow. And it just kept coming and coming. And yeah, so we're excited. I think maybe, looking at the rest of this week, it could be gone by the end of the week here.
Well, I suppose that's something to look forward to until it snows again, which it has all spring long.
Yeah, I would guess we've probably got one more coming.
I told the guys at work, I said, I'll handle the May snow route, but when it comes to June and July, you guys have to take it over. I'm done clearing snow in June and July.
Oh, man. Everything's good, though. We had a good weekend. I was telling you a little bit before we came on, but over the weekend, JRob and Marty Morgan got inducted into the Minnesota chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, and it was down in Austin, Minnesota. And Jared Lawrence put together a group, a huge group on a party bus we left out of Minneapolis at 10 o'clock in the morning Saturday to go down there and surprise those guys. And we had probably 40 wrestlers or so on it. It was just, it was one of the coolest things because, you just see like the support that, we had for those guys. I mean, Marty and Jay meant so much to each one of us, and it was just pretty neat to see that kind of thing. 40 guys giving up their weekend to jump. I mean, there was a lot of fun to be had as well. But jump on a bus and head down to Austin, Minnesota, and we had the banquet from 3:30 to 6:30, and then we just had, nothing else to do for the rest of the night. And there was a bar in the hotel we were staying at, and we didn't really have
a lot to do.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't have to go very far, and it was just it was pretty cool. It was neat that Jared was able to put that together and got such great response. And we surprised him. Marty and Jay had no idea. And we were all in the lobby when Marty comes walking down, and he just stops and he sees us all. He just looks at us. He's like, this is going to hurt. I mean, he knew immediately, like, he was in for a long, long night. But, yeah, it was like Leroy Vega flew up for it. And just, so many guys traveled from out a long ways to be there for Jay and Marty. And I think that's kind of a testament to, who those two guys were and what they meant to all of us, and, kind of what we had built back in that, that time. And it's kind of, I was on the younger end of the guys that were there. There wasn't too many guys that were younger than me, but, I look back at some of those teams, the teams they've had in 2000, 2001, and what we had in 07, and man, it was what kind of they talk about a lot, but like a brotherhood, man. We just cared so much for each other because of those two guys.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess it's good to see too that like the whole, situation with Minnesota, was it 2 years ago now, with all the stuff that kind of one of the reasons why I think Jay left, that there's really nothing hanging over, no dark cloud. It doesn't seem like, 40 guys are heading down to watch him go in the Hall of Fame. So that's pretty neat too, that didn't affect him too much.
No, I think that there's no doubt about it. Our opinion of Jay never changed, no matter what happened through that whole deal. And, Jay ultimately gave the administration no choice. He fell on the sword, so to speak. And that's the kind of guy Jay was. I always knew that if I ever got into trouble, or if there ever something that I absolutely needed somebody's help, without a doubt, I knew that no matter what it was, he would help me. And that trust doesn't come easily. I think you could pull just about all 40 of us guys that were there, and I think about every one of us would have said the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Those guys are pretty hard to come by. So many guys are just worrying about themselves and their own interests. So, yeah, pretty neat to have a guy like that.
Yep.
So, this week we were kind of talking via text a little bit that you've been sitting on a great story about the night that you guys won NCAAs.
Yeah.
I would love to hear this.
Yeah, absolutely. I was kind of thinking about what we could do for some podcast ideas, and I thought that that's something that kind of maybe is behind the scenes. That there are not many people that know what all went down, and so I thought that might be a good thing to talk about the 07 national tournament. If you remember, it was out in Auburn Hills, Michigan, which sucked. Oh, it was so terrible. Because the arena was like, you're 30 minutes away from anything. I mean, our rooms where the NCAA put us up, we were 45 minutes away.
Really?
And it was just, we always, we had a thing where, we didn't want to hang around that arena too long. So, if Ness would wrestle at 25, and then I'd go at 33, and Manny would go at 41, we would, we had a lot of cars, and if all of us were done, we would just jump in a car and leave and head back to the hotel and get out of that arena. And, we always wanted to stay and watch the rest of the guys on our team, but, they met Jay and Marty, and they made a point to just, you got to take care of yourself. You take care of yourself, the team will take care of itself. So we would, then by the time your 45-minute drive back after the first session, and you got a 45-minute drive back to the arena at night, it just it didn't work well in Auburn Hills. And, luckily when we go back to Detroit in 2022, it'll be a different arena. But, so we go through that tournament. That was the year, I didn't place. I got him getting beat out the round before placing. But it comes down to us, Iowa State comes into the finals, and Backus needs to win and Cole needs to lose. And Cole was sitting in the finals in the last match, and Backus ends up getting beat. So that clinched it for us. And then Cole goes out there to wrestle, and I was just hoping he didn't pin the guy, because I think we ended up winning by 4.5 or 5, and I scored 14 points. So selfishly, I'm I hope he just wins, because if he pins the guy, then my team points don't matter. We ended up winning by 5, and I only scored 4, so they would have done it without me. But so Cole goes out and pins the guy, and it was really, really cool. And we go back. Cole then has to take his drug test, and we have our social, the Minnesota social that night, and all the rest of the guys on the team were we're not going into that social without you, Cole. And he's he could not go to the bathroom because he was nervous before his finals match, so he peed quite a bit before, and by the time he got off the mat, he had nothing left in him. And so we're waiting, and we're all just hanging out in this little closet, this coat closet in the arena. And finally, they're you guys just go, you don't have to go to the social, but we got a call from Chad Erickson. He was waiting outside in a 15-passenger van. So the other 8 of us that had qualified, we go out there, and it was us 8 and then 6 of the coaches in a 15-passenger van, and we probably had maybe 5 cases of beer and then the national championship trophy. And Erickson just drove us around for 30 minutes with the music as loud as it could possibly go. And it was just the coolest. I mean, it was one of the coolest 30 minutes of my life because, we'd worked so incredibly hard. And you don't want to, like, if we go straight to that social, we all end up getting split up. And, I got to go talk to my family and CP's got to go talk to his family. And then some, booster wants to talk to us. And it just kind of, you lose the night, and it's like you went through war with these other 10 guys, these other 9 guys, and you want to share it with them. But ultimately you don't end up getting to because you got so many obligations and you're so busy then once we get to that social. So that just driving around that van, I remember Erickson was driving and Nagel was the DJ Matt Nagel was the DJ in the front passenger seat, and we were all just piled back there, and we had the national championship trophy just sitting up on the console, and we were just together. It was just really, really cool driving. And I think we fit a little bit better because we didn't have Cole in there. I don't know if it would have worked if we had him too, but and we, it's just like little things like that. And we always used to do that. We always kind of had a tradition that as soon as the finals were over at the tournament, we'd always meet back at the hotel. It was just the coaches and just the wrestlers. We'd order a couple pizzas and maybe get a couple cases of beer, and we'd just sit there. We had 30 minutes together, but with him being so far away in Auburn Hills, we weren't able to do that. Everything was so spread out, so we just ad-libbed and got into a 15-passenger van and made it good. But just like they said, I keep going back to it. Like those 40 guys that went down to Austin, Minnesota this weekend did it because of everything that they went through and that bond that they built with the guys on their team. They wanted to be together again, and that was kind of the same way that night in Auburn Hills. I wanted to go to the social. Don't get me wrong. Like I was excited to get there, but I wanted to ride in that van for all as long as we could possibly make it. But then we ended up. So we get to the social and they do all the speeches and everybody's having a good time. And when you win, everybody kind of wants to be a part of it. And all of a sudden, Ben Askren comes walking in. He comes to our social, and then Jimmy Zaleski comes walking in. And he was at his first year at Oregon State at that point. So those guys are come walking in, and I was at the time I was dating this girl, and Askren goes up and he starts kind of hitting on her a little bit, and me being the little shithead that I was, I come just walking up with a big grin on my face, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on over here?" And he's like, "This is your girlfriend?" I was like, "Oh yeah." Felt pretty good about myself at that point, but. Well, then Askren and Zaleski are they're joking around with each other and laughing and having fun, and they kind of try to take subtle jabs at each other. I remember Ben saying something along the lines of, "I've never been fired before," because, Jimmy had just gotten canned at Iowa, and Jimmy responded with, "You've never had a job to get fired from." But it was like just little things like that. I mean, it was just awesome seeing those guys. And if I remember right, those two wrestled around a little bit, and I think Jimmy got the better of him.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that night. But
I don't think I would have guessed that.
Yeah, and it was all in, like I said, all in good fun, but it was pretty cool.
So what's Askren think of you? I feel like he just naturally hates anyone associated with Iowa in any way.
I don't think Askren doesn't know who I am. But I think that, there's the old saying that enemy of my enemy is my friend. So maybe Ben doesn't hate me after all.
Well, he was born in Iowa after all,
He was? Cedar Rapids, right?
Cedar Rapids,
yeah.
Yep.
I think I did remember that.
No, I love listening to their podcast because I just like him. Like I always say, I like different opinions, and he definitely has different ones. But yeah, he's a little over the top sometimes when it comes to Iowa stuff. Yeah,
I mean, he don't like Iowa, but he thinks outside the box. It'll be interesting to see how he does with this RTC job at Wisconsin, and where he kind of takes that. Our guys interested in going there to train under him. It'll be.
Who was in that position? Do you know?
I don't know if they had anybody.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure. There's so many of these RTCs. Everybody's got one, and some people have a coach, some people I think it's just kind of like another job that gets thrown on like the second assistant or something.
Yeah. When did Minnesota get theirs?
When I coached, we created our RTC.
Yeah.
Back when I was on staff. So that would have been probably 2009 or 2010. We created an RTC, and we weren't the first, but there wasn't many of them out there when we created ours. Right now, Jared Lawrence is the coach of it. That may be changing soon here. I'm not sure. I've heard some things that it's possible that might change, but so Jared helps out with that along with running Pinnacle.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good asset to have, but at the same time now, like you said, everybody has them. So
exactly.
I don't know. All right, where do you want to go from here?
We got the
Anything
Open.
else?
We got the Open this weekend. I don't know, you got any other questions on national? I would love to hear more, about other guys, that were on a national championship team, what it was like for them that night. It was weird for me, that was the year I didn't place, and that was pretty hard to take, but then, it still ends up being one of the coolest nights of my life, up until this past summer, it was probably the best night ever, of my life. Like, it was so much worth it. And after all that heartbreak the day before in the blood round, and it didn't matter anymore. We did it as a team, and that was the only thing that mattered.
It's such a different experience in college, obviously, because, I've been there in high school, but, you're not, obviously you can't drink in high school. And I just recall we just freaking cashed when we got back to the hotel. We were all so beat up and worn out. But yeah, that's a pretty cool experience like that. That's funny that you say that you're losing in the blood round. It didn't matter to you anymore. Cause I've always wondered what that loss, how you felt about that loss, just in terms of your career, or if it still eats at you to this day, or, cause
it sucks because it was such a close match too. I lost by one, and I was riding McCormick, and he kicked free with like 5 seconds to go, and I remember turning and looking at the clock, and then looking back at him, and he's halfway across the mat, and there's no way I was going to catch him in time. I just remember that realization that it was over. It was tough. It hurt. It hurt for a real long time. I made sure I got up that next morning. I made weight on my own, just to kind of, self-penalize myself, punish myself.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like going out that night. I just, and then I was there for Jason, helping him warm up to get ready for the All-American round, get him ready. He ended up coming back. I think he got fifth that year, third or fifth. I don't know. He did well. And so, I wanted to be there for him. And then after that was, we had a great morning that morning. Dustin's, CP and Roger all wrestled great, and put us up by enough where it looked like, we had it in, or we had it won. So, in between that round and the finals, I spent a lot of time with the guys on the team and stuff. And we, then it was a little different, because then, we were pretty confident all we needed to do was have Cole win.
Yeah.
Which up until that point was pretty much a foregone conclusion that he was going to win. But yeah, I took that loss and I held it for a long time. That was, there was a good period of time before I was able to kind of move on past it. At the end of the day, it's another match, it's another match, and it's, the margin, like you said, we talked about last week that we were a coin flip apart, basically.
Yeah.
At the other day, he beat me. He was better that day. And I always, with my ACL, when I had torn it earlier that season, you wonder if what would have happened if I hadn't torn that. How does my season go differently? How does my career go differently? But you don't have that option. Those kind of things. That happens. Right? There's so much luck that goes into staying healthy in D1 wrestling.
Oh yeah. See, those are I feel like a lot of people like to hear about the success stories and whatnot. They're great to hear about, but I guess I'm a little different. I like to hear those stories. I always feel like, Jordan Burroughs is trying to motivate kids like, hey, I'm an Olympic champ. This is awesome. This one. Now, I feel like the way you should be doing it is telling stories about like the darkest points in your career. Cause, there's 1,000 kids every weekend that are like, man, I can't do this anymore. I suck. So, to know that everybody all the way up to the top has those moments too.
We got to get Jay Jaggers on then. Ask him about how he was feeling his senior year when he lost like 7 straight matches.
Yeah, see, and that I love hearing about that stuff.
Right.
I don't know if other people do, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I love the misery so much, I guess, but
well, maybe it's the adversity of how you handle it too.
Yeah.
How do you rebound? How do you bounce back from that? Life is going to be hard. There's going to come time in everybody's life where something's going to be difficult, and what can I learn from the past of people, some things that they've done, or they have some learning experiences. How can I use that in my life?
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that's a great way to coach too. It's not, I'm not here telling you how I was better than you. I'm telling you what I did right, and I'm telling you about all the things that I did wrong. Mm-hmm. I want you to get both of them right. So, yeah. All right. We got any more stories, or we think we got her covered there?
I think that covers our stories. There was the news today. We talked a little bit about it before, but with Zeke Moisey now is coming to Nebraska, and I told you right away, I think this is a bad move. I don't think Zeke Moisey's a Big Ten wrestler. I think he's the guy that wrestles 12 matches throughout the year and comes to the national tournament feeling fresh and does well. I don't think he's built for that grind. Especially, how old is Zeke Moisey now? The match with him and Gilman, that feels like it happened 8 years ago, right?
It was 2 St. Louis's ago.
That match feels so long ago, and this guy's still got college eligibility left. I don't understand how he still has eligibility left, but I just think that you come into the toughest conference in the country, and you've already had some injury concerns your entire career. There's questions about, how invested you are into it. And now you get to wrestle Spencer Lee, and you get to wrestle Sebastian Rivera, and possibly Siriano, and all those guys. You can't shy away from them now.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to say you're wrong, because I guess I don't really know what to think about this yet. Anymore you got guys holding guys out, once if they wrestle twice a weekend, they hold them out for one meet. I'd imagine you'd see a little bit of that at Nebraska, maybe.
Should we set a line of how many duels Nebraska wrestles that he sits out?
Big Ten duels, you mean?
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
I bet I almost want to say I bet he doesn't wrestle in 50% of their duels this year.
Oh man, you're going that low, huh?
I've heard some things that Zeke likes to party, and I feel like you live a lifestyle for a while, and then all of a sudden you come into a conference where if you do continue to live that lifestyle, it's not going to go well.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it'll turn out, because so many times, everybody's always talks about how their coach is the greatest, or, this guy's the best guy for me right here, or whatnot. But it's like, there's so many people that say that it's like, well, not every guy can be the greatest coach ever. So, I don't know, maybe is he better off with a different coach?
Yeah.
Cause, there's a reason Hinton isn't still at West Virginia. I don't think anybody had anything really bad to say about him from what I heard the last couple of weeks, but I don't know, maybe he was holding back, maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I guess we're going to see.
Yeah. I think this experiment, and it makes sense from Nebraska's point of view, he's got 1 year left. You bring him in for a year where they have a hole. They need a 25-pounder. Alex Thompson gets the red shirt. Thompson comes in the next year. Logistically, it makes very much sense. He fits into the puzzle very well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I feel like the puzzle is not what he thinks it is.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you heard Nebraska was a good party school. Maybe that's why he's there.
I can tell you that Nebraska can be a good party school. I took a recruiting trip there. It's not a bad place.
I feel like I remember this, but maybe not this story.
Yeah, that story doesn't go on the podcast.
Yeah, okay. So I guess that was probably what his list was, the major factor was the party schools.
Yep. I'm surprised he didn't go to Arizona State. Like, that's a match. See, I make all these jokes, but like, that's a match made in heaven. Like, you wrestle the Pac-12, you don't really exist until conference weekend because the Pac-12 wrestled right before, the weekend before, and all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, Zeke's still got eligibility. And then you come out of nowhere, and then you get a party in Arizona State all year long. Like, do the Jason Surtis. Yeah. It makes sense.
We stayed in Phoenix when I was in college, way back when, and a bunch of the guys I was with were talking. They're like, all right, we got a driver. Where do you guys want to go? We can go anywhere here in Phoenix. And I'm like, we're going to Tempe. This isn't even a question. Let's go.
Yes.
So, yeah. Yeah, I can also attest to that. So, yeah, that'd have been a good spot to be.
Yeah.
Well, but I guess, he probably cares a little bit about his wrestling, so I guess that was probably why he didn't go there.
But did Milhoff graduate, or is he still got another year?
Dude, I don't know. He seems like he's 47 as well.
I know. Those guys, they're going to have a tryout against each other, and loser has to retire.
Loser leaves town, yep.
For sure.
Okay, where are we at? We're talking about, Moisey. What do you want to go into U.S. Open now, or?
Yeah, let's talk about the Open. I mean, it's pretty big tournament coming up this weekend.
I know I'm excited for it. Last week I felt like I hadn't watched wrestling for like 2 years. I don't know what it was. It was so bad that I was excited for cadet Pan Am qualifiers where there was like one Iowa guy that went.
How did he do?
I think he won one frontside match in both styles. So that my excitement for it ended pretty quickly. So
I saw Pinnacle put a guy on the team. Paxton Crease made the team.
Yeah, who's that guy? Is he any good? Well, obviously he's pretty good, but
yeah, he's pretty talented. He got second in state this year in a big school class at 106. But I mean, he's barely a full. I don't think he's even a full 106. But he's tough, man. Internationally, I think he's really tough. He's got some good hips and he can throw.
What I was seeing about that is those guys go to Pan Am's, and I think the next week is Akron after that. So that's kind of
that's weird.
Interesting timing. I don't know. You're almost better off not going, but
yeah, I mean, because obviously the goal is that you want to make the cadet world team, and is traveling to some third world country in South America a week before you need to compete in the trials. Is that the best idea?
I wouldn't think so, but I don't know.
We'll see.
All right.
I mean, those kids are young too. Cadets bounce back like that. Like, it's a lot different than a senior level guy trying to wrestle back-to-back weekends.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I'm sure a lot of those guys have never been out of the country to wrestle, so it's a totally new experience. And then I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I would definitely take the opportunity if I had it, so I don't blame them. Okay. In U.S. Open, I don't really know where you want to start or what you want to do with this. I think it's going to be a pretty big deal this year. You got, with the names registered, obviously you got your guys that are sitting out till Final X that don't have to worry about it, but that's kind of the same as it's been in years past. But
right.
Did you see this week they were announcing people that accepted berths to Final X, which I thought was very weird because it's like,
is somebody going to decline it?
Yeah, are you gonna take this free ride to the finals, or do you want to go through the whole tournament again?
I did not see this. Was there like an accepted speech or something, or what was it?
No, just on Twitter, just like have their picture and like accepted birth to Final X. It's like, well, of course he did.
Yeah.
He's not retiring.
Yeah. No, I know I earned this, but I'm going to go ahead and decline. I'm going to earn it the hard way.
Yeah.
I was looking at the pre-seeds. I don't, like, Spencer Lee wasn't in there at 57. Is he going or not?
I think pretty much the talk all along has been that he is not going
Oh,
to.
well, he doesn't have to, though, does he?
No.
Because he's already
he's
qualified for the trials as a national champ. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the Open doesn't matter. He doesn't need to go.
No. I guess I don't know how that works for juniors. If he'd have won juniors, would he have been in the best of 3 final? I can't remember, but obviously, it sounds like he might be going senior, so
well,
I don't know.
I don't think he has junior eligibility left, does he?
You don't think he does?
I don't think he does.
I mean, he's a true freshman.
That's true. You would think he would have something. Unless he's
Isn't
old, but I don't think he's that old, is he?
I don't think so. I mean, isn't it all freshmen? It might even be all Is it all sophomores and some juniors?
It's high school seniors, college freshmen, and a small group of college second-year guys.
Okay, I guess.
So, yeah, you would think he'd have junior, but I thought I had read somewhere that he does not have it. But that'd be weird if he didn't.
Yeah, I have no idea.
We got to do better research.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where I didn't even think about it till you questioned me. So I don't know. But so he's not in the list here. But you do have Dayton Fix, another young guy, mixing it up with the seniors. So that's going to be real fun to see where he ends up.
The Tomasello would be qualified already because he won like one of the Schultz or something, right?
Again, I should have studied up more, I guess. But he was registered, and he's not in the pre-seed. So I never heard today. I was pretty busy at work, and I think it kind of developed today, whatever it was. So
okay.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, I think it's kind of the top two at this way. Cruz is interesting. Zane Richards, how is he making 57 kgs?
Willie and Piles were talking about it, that like when he was a sophomore was the last time he was down that low in high school or something like that. It was or junior, maybe junior. It was crazy.
That does not sound fun.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Jeez. Well, Eddie Clemara's going to Vegas. That's a dangerous combination.
Yeah, was he the one that, got busted with the
little nose candy?
The nose candy. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. He that was at Nationals. Like, granted, he was beat out, but I mean, do you really need to go find some of that at Nationals? Like, take a couple of days off, man.
Well, it didn't sound like you took any days off after you guys won.
Well, I was of age to drink alcohol.
No days off. That's what they say, right?
That's true. That is true. This way, for all the talk of the Open, 57 doesn't do much for me.
No, and then even what you said with Cruz, Cruz is not a freestyle threat, I feel like, to these other guys.
He's got a good style for it, I would think. He can strike quick.
Gilman handled him so easily last year.
Oh, that's true. He did. He teched him, right?
Yeah, it was like first round. It was a big deal, but then all of a sudden it was over. So, yeah, you're right. I think it's, Pirelli's pretty good. I haven't seen Sanders forever. You'd be a way better judge of that than me, but.
At some point, you've been to every Open for the last 8 years. Like, it, hasn't really broke through to that top tier yet. So it's tough to see it happening now at, the age 29 or 30 season, however old he is.
Yeah. I thought the Ramos wrestling kind of came out of nowhere. Wasn't he talking about being done, or did I just make that up?
He was, because he was up at 61 and then wasn't doing very good, and it sounded like he needed to take a break, and apparently in that break he decided losing 8.5 pounds is going to be better for him.
I was kind of thinking about this situation when I was at work the other day, because like I said, that's all I do when I'm at work is think about wrestling, apparently. But I was, some of these guys, the guys that you say hang around forever, it's like, why are you still here? In their mind, that first year of the cycle, they're sitting there like, all right, I'm going to try to make this Olympic team. And then, as they get further through, it's just, I guess they don't question it, because it's just like, no, this is what I said I'm going to do. So they just, without even thinking, they just keep going. But you know how much your life changes in 4 years? Especially that, like in that time frame, like having kids, you think back 4 years ago, your life. I think back 4 years of mine. I
was in a different place.
Now. Yeah, I would have no kids. I'd just barely be married.
Could you imagine graduating college like the year after an Olympics? So then you're like, okay, you do 3 years, you don't make the team, and then you're like, God, do I go another cycle?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you've committed 7 years of your life to this, and for most guys, what do you got to show for it? A lot of trips over to Uzbekistan to go 0-1.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of it is you just, you get a year or two in and you're just like, well, I put this time in now. I kind of got to keep going, don't I? So, I don't know. I guess it makes more sense that so many guys are like, it's like, why are you even here? Like, you have no chance, but more power to you, I guess.
Yeah, good for those guys. Let's move up next weight.
Okay.
61. This one's a real interesting weight to me, because like none of these guys are head and shoulders above the rest.
No.
Seth Gross at the 7 seed, I give him just as much chance or Corey Clark. Gross wrestled in the FILA Junior Worlds. He placed, didn't he? Did he place that year?
Nah, I can't remember.
But like Graf, he's been around forever. All these guys have been around forever. Brandon Wright just resurrected his career last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was done, and all of a sudden he came out of nowhere.
What's kind of crazy about this way is in our IAwrestle, group chat today, somebody said they have betting odds apparently on Bet DSI.
Yeah, I saw
for
that.
US Open. This weight, you got Cologne, Graf, Morrison, Gross, and Brewer, and then the field is plus 600.
Bet the field.
Yeah, so the field would give you Garrett, right? I didn't say Garrett. Wright.
Gross, Clark.
No, not Gross.
Oh,
Gross
not
I
Gross.
listed.
Okay.
But still, it's like
Megaludis, Clark.
Even Alan Waters, yeah. Holy cow. This weight's so wide open.
Like if I hadn't looked at this pre-seeds, I would not have guessed that Joe Colon and John Morrison were going to be the 1-2 seeds.
Yeah, the only reason Morrison's up there is because I think it was a ferrule. He had a good ferrule.
Yeah.
But to me, Morrison he's not doing it for me.
I don't think he's at that level of those guys, but we'll see.
Because it was just one turn, right? Because even in college, he wasn't that good. I should specify, I think he was probably All-American, but... Yeah.
He was good. He was a good wrestler. But,
yeah.
And he's been good at freestyle. I remember David Thorne and him having a battle in the finals at Junior Nationals one year. So, he's been good in freestyle. But
I guess really the question at this weight is, who is Tyler Graf going to lose to in the finals?
Well, he's on the bottom side of the bracket, so you got Cologne, Wright, Brewer, Megaludis, Clark, one of those guys.
Bad news for Garrett. That means Garrett has no shot at making the finals.
Don't bet Garrett. Don't bet Morrison.
I'm really curious to see where Corey Clark's at with these guys.
I would bet you couldn't. I don't even know what odds I'd have to give you to try to put the top 6 in the right order at this weight. Like 1,000 to 1?
Oh yeah. Yeah, probably. Something crazy like that.
I feel like this. You can't do it. You cannot put the top 6 in order.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess they place top 8 because 7 go to the trials. So.
Yeah.
Place the top 8.
Right.
Oh man, what a fun one! That'll be a good weight. That's good.
I'm really excited on that way.
61's good.
Okay. 65. See, even this one, you get kind of down farther, and you're like, yeah, maybe a guy like that. But I think Logan Stieber is pretty much the guy, don't you think?
Yeah, I think we're all waiting on the Stieber Rutherford match. That'll be. It's interesting that Rutherford didn't come here, even though he's already qualified for the trials, to get that bye to Final X.
Uh-huh.
You think about that's on the line here. That means a lot. Then you don't have to go through the whole trials and do the best 2 out of 3 of the trials. So he's figuring, I guess, you figure you got to win one of the 2 tournaments. So
yeah. I don't think there's hardly any Penn State guys in this that wrestled, college this last year because Nichols not in, Mark Hall. No. So I don't know if that was, I would assume that was kind of a Kale inspired decision, you'd imagine.
Yeah.
So.
And maybe they still will. There's still time to, registration's still open, so.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
You have Simmons at this weight. He's probably one of the oldest guys, you'd say, in this
He's
tournament.
older than I am.
And you're 33?
Yes.
He was 34, I think I
think he's 34, yes. I think he's a year above me.
Man.
That's, and to take 5 years off, 6 years off, and then just start it all over again? That's crazy.
I would love to get inside his head and, just ask, why? Why do you want to come back and do this? I'm going
to tell you right now with 100% certainty, I am never going to enter the U.S. Open.
I don't know. You got 2-3 years to think about it still.
Maybe in the next Olympic year.
Did I hear? This reminds me of. I think maybe you're even in. I know Bart is in their fantasy wrestling league or whatever, and they were throwing around the idea of whoever gets last place has to enter in Corn Cob Nationals. I think next year.
Oh no.
Or some national tournament like that where you have a veterans division.
Yeah, that would suck.
But it's a great rule.
Yeah, that's a tough penalty.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. Unless it was you, that'd be really bad.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't want to do it. Yeah. We had. I've seen it before where you have to enter and take the ACTs, but you have to enter a veterans division of the national tournament. That's a tough break there.
I'd almost rather wrestle, man. ACTs, that's a long day.
That's a long day. And then they were I had some buddies that were going to do it, and then they were going to tailgate the rest of the guys in the league were going to be out in the parking lot drinking. Well, the other person's in there taking the test. And you had to make your results publicly known.
Oh, God. I had to take ACTs with my left hand. I broke my right hand. I couldn't fill in the bubbles. And it seriously slowed me down. It really took a while to fill them in. So that's what I'm blaming my score on.
Yeah. That explains a lot.
Yeah, there we go. Anyone else that excites you at this weight?
I like Jason Ness. I'm glad he's still kind of sticking around, keeping it going. He had a tough, go with the last couple of years. He had that hand problem at the last trials. So I think he's healthy now and he's ready to go. Sucks seeing him all the way down to the 10 seed. But he wrestled Aberdeen in a match earlier this year when we wrestled Nebraska up here, and they did an exhibition match, and he teched Aberdeen in 30 seconds. So yeah. I'm fine with him going in at 10 because then he gets Aberdeen in the first round, and then you just you move on and get McKenna then. So it's not the worst spot ever.
The same thing. When I looked at it, it's that's not really a bad road there.
No, he could get hot, man. It wouldn't shock me if he beat Aberdeen, beat McKenna, beat Henderson, and is in the finals.
Actually, the match with potential for some serious funk here would be 8-9, Laser and Ironman.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Could be a fun one.
That'd be a really good one.
So I think we kind of agree. This is Stever, and then everyone's fighting it out for second as far as the open goes. All right. 70 kilograms. What are you thinking at this weight?
Dylan Ness, Mario Mason, still going. Oh, man. Molinaro, I like. I mean, the guy's tough. He's really tough. I'd like to see him wrestle Pantaleo. Those two just flexing at each other.
Yeah, just being all tan and...
Just huge.
Yeah.
Like they shake hands and ask each other what they bench. Like, hey, what would you bench?
Good luck, bro.
Yeah. It'd be so tan. Because they know if they're wrestling each other, so they'd probably both go hit the booth before the match because they'd want to out tan the other guy.
I've seen that backfire on guys before. I know somebody that tanned a little bit too much kind of before prom, and then in the freestyle tournament, his butt was all burned red, and like anytime anyone touched him, he just like crumbled.
That's a tough break, man.
Yeah, that was Joey Gersh. I know you know who that is.
Oh yeah. What's he tanning for prom for, man?
I don't know. There are a lot of them guys tan back in the day, man.
Yeah.
I know you never did. You were always really white.
Yeah, there was really no point in tanning. Like, what am I going to go from absolute paper white to like an off white? It's still not going to look good.
Yeah, I don't feel like I don't feel like tan skin goes well with those Gopher singlets either.
Oh man, that gold singlet we used to wear for the finals, that was a bad look for me.
Oh yeah.
That's a really bad look. I only got to wear it once or twice, but neither time did it look good.
Was that something that you knew going in? Like you saw it and you're like, oh, this is bad? Or was it like a picture afterwards and you're like, ooh?
Well, we always had a deal. You're like, you don't put it on until you've made the finals. Like, you don't jinx it. So, I make the finals in Iowa City my freshman year, Big Tens. And I go back to the hotel, and Cole and I are super excited because the two of us made the finals. And I put it on, and I look in the mirror, and I was like, oh, man. I was like, this is bad. There's just like no, because it wasn't like a bright gold. It was just that off, like pale gold.
Yeah.
And it just looked really, really bad.
Oh, man.
So, but I wore it with pride.
Oh, God. Where were we?
74 kgs. Nazir, Imar, Valamont, Evan Wick. How do you think Imar's style is going to transition to freestyle?
Oh, I think he'll be okay. I don't know. I wonder how much not having Perry affects him.
Yeah.
To me, I think Kolchitsky's just a step or two above at this weight. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have a lot of expectations for Imar, I guess.
I think he's going to do well. I think he just needs to learn to kind of, a little more like calculated risks. The guy likes to, throw caution to the wind so much and he can get burned pretty easily in freestyle and that. So I think he, learns his positioning a little better and figures out where he needs to be to have the most success. And I think, it's just like anything. There's a learning curve. Making that jump from folk style right to freestyle is hard. Not a lot of guys have success with it. There obviously are some, Burroughs and Snyder both did, but it's tough. There's a couple of year learning curve there, and that's why you see guys will go another cycle because they're like, I was just starting to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
I hope. I'm a big Imar fan, so I hope he does well.
Yeah, I'm liking Kolchitsky. I don't know. They when they announced the lineups at the World Cup that day, they forgot. They announced everybody in the line except for Kolchitsky, He was just kind of standing there like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And then, like, after it was done, they like, made a correction, like, oh, and also at 70, and it was just so funny, like, after the fact. Just don't even say it. He just made it really weird.
Well, don't be ripping on Jason Bryan again, though.
I don't know. That seemed to work out pretty well for us, though. I don't think he did it, but I think the lady was the one that did it. Or
Sandy?
Said it. It wasn't Sandy, I don't think.
Oh, God, I was going to say.
I don't know who it was. But, yeah.
Sandy. Man. All right. 79 kgs. I think the weight everybody's most excited for, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think, I've been hearing lately a lot of people thinking this is just much Derringer as Dake, and I just don't see it. I think this is Dake's to run with. He finally sees his shot here, and I think he's going to jump all over it.
I agree. I think he's wrestling as good as anybody in the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
He just looks like he's finally got freestyle figured out and found a weight that's a good fit for him. And he's just so explosive and so good in so many positions. I would not be shocked if Zahid gives Derringer a match.
Yeah.
Zahid's going to be big. Yeah, I mean, I think Zahid's going to be real big. And I think I think Derringer beats him, but I think it's going to be a pretty good match. Whereas I think Dake kind of rolls through that top side without much trouble. So
I think I'd favor Valencia here over Derringer. I know that's a sexy pick for everyone is to pick Derringer doing well, but I think I'm going Valencia to be second here.
Okay.
But there's really not much more to talk about there. Just those probably top three guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, you say it's the way everybody's most excited for, but then it's only three guys, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Anything else?
Nah, not that one.
All right. Actually, we said 61 we're most curious to see. This, to me, 86, I'm intrigued, I guess I should say.
Yes, you're intrigued because it's Pat Downey. He's like a drug to you. You can't get enough. If Pat's there, you're watching, man. Has he started his Snap story for his trip to Vegas yet?
I don't know. I think I got blocked on his Snapchat maybe, so I'm not really sure.
We got to create a burner account or something.
Yeah, I should. Should definitely do that. No, what's weird is, I'm sure he's working hard, because it seems like he does pretty well with working out. But what's funny is during the college season, he would take all kinds of snaps and working out. But the last couple of weeks, he hadn't been taking any. So is he trying to, keep everything real secretive, or what's going on there?
He's doing the LeBron thing, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's off social media.
Yep. Well, let's not go that far, but
that guy can't get off social media.
Yeah, so you got him, and then I don't know. Richard Perry's just another guy who doesn't really do it for me.
It's David
I don't know
Taylor,
why.
Man. David Taylor's the man.
And that's probably a big part of it. Why? But the guy's number 2, Richard Perry, and there's nobody else.
If it's Richard Perry versus David Taylor in Final X, I'm very disappointed in our depth at 86.
Yes. Yep.
It's just like that can't be what happens.
No.
So
I know I was listening to the Blood Round podcast. I don't know if you've ever listened to that one.
I have.
I like those guys. They're funny.
Okay.
They were talking. The one guy was saying, he's like, I just have this weird feeling that it's not going to be Dake or Taylor on the team. And man, I don't know. I think is Taylor about as big of a lock as you can get?
Yeah. No, it's Dake and Taylor. Like those. I'm more excited right now to watch those two wrestle than I am than Burroughs.
Oh yeah.
Or Snyder.
I agree.
I can't get enough of those two right now. Like they're like, I don't know. They're fun.
Really, the thing, Schneider isn't even really that entertaining to watch. I guess he's just
I like to see the way he breaks down those big guys, man, and how he can kind of just take everything from them.
Yeah, that is fun to watch. I guess I just like the snakes and sparklers, the shiny stuff.
Husky do's, husky don'ts.
Yes, that's that.
Yeah, I mean, that match with him and Sedge Live, just the slow grind that you could see wearing on Sedge Live until it finally broke through. That
jostling is what it was.
It was a ton of jostling.
Did you ever find that tweet?
No.
I think it's Ivan Wrestling was the guy's name. Okay. Ivan_Wrestling, whatever. You'll have to look it up.
All right.
All right, so we're just saying David Taylor, and we're just excited to see what Downey's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're both hoping that Downey gets to the finals, right?
I love chaos. I'm all for it.
Do you think that he comes out with like a custom singlet? I didn't notice any sponsors lining up to sign him.
He had GoFundMe. But that's funny because, like, on his Snap, like, every other week he has, like, a couple grand in, like, hundreds. And he's always counting on the floor. It's like, where did that money come from?
I would guess it was from some illegal activities, but...
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting that, like, Snyder signs with Rudis right away, and Rutherford signed with Adidas, right? Or somebody, Under Armour he signed with. Man, I haven't heard anything on anybody trying to get Pat under contract.
Did you ever have anyone, I guess, I don't think you did, but was that a thing, like when you were in college, guys getting sponsors like that?
Yeah, I know like Luke Becker got one after, and Jared got one. You know, they were getting a couple grand a year from ASICS.
So that's something where they just seek you out, or
yeah,
you go after them? And
no, they come to you and they're like, hey, we would really like you to be an ASICS athlete, and here's what we're willing to offer. And I think at that time it was just ASICS, so they're like, okay, yeah, I'll take it. You know, like, what are you going to say? No, I'm going to go to somebody else, and there is nobody else.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe we could try, be like, hey, you can sponsor us for 10 grand.
Ooh.
I don't think, okay, like 10, maybe $10.
Yeah. What is it going to cost to get my name on your singlet?
Oh, man. It's going to be a lot more fabric now than they needed back in the day.
Hold on. Shots Fired Podcast needs to sponsor Pat Downey.
You think so?
Yes. We should start a GoFundMe. We're gonna get a GoFundMe. We're gonna try and plug a link into his GoFundMe so that they can sponsor ours, so that he has to accept our donation.
We should do that, just like 79 cents, and then endorse it right at the bottom, like, from the guys on the Shots Fired podcast.
Pay to the order of PDIII.
You're right, we should. I don't know what I'm doing.
This is a match made in heaven. Like, that guy is our poster boy athlete.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
All right, that's what we're doing.
Okay, deal. All right, 92. Another weight. You got Jaden Cox, and that's pretty much about it.
You got a Greco guy wrestling freestyle at second.
Yeah.
Hayden Zilmer's going to go Iron Man this weekend, dude.
Why are you... I mean, when is the Greco and freestyle, are they at the same time or not?
Greco's the day before, I think. So you just wrestle Greco and then the next day wrestle freestyle.
Okay, so yeah. So he goes all in for his style, and then he just kind of
does freestyle for fun. But, like, he's actually pretty good at it.
Oh, yeah.
That guy trains hard, man. They're like trying to slow him down. They're like, hey, it wouldn't hurt you to take a day off here, rest a little bit, and, you can recover. And he just, like, can't do it. Like, he can't rest.
But it's for some of them guys, it's such a mental thing. Like, if they're sitting there and they're like, oh, there was that one day I took off. I don't know. Other guys were working.
Right.
Well, yeah, so it just, I mean, there's nothing here, right? Just those two?
Yeah. We're getting a touch long anyway. Let's move on. 97.
All right. 97. Another, I don't know, I guess maybe not. You got Kevin Gatson, Ty Walls, Nathan Burek. I was thinking there was another guy here, but apparently not.
Yeah, there's a guy sitting out.
Well, duh. What was it? Maybe not. I just made that up. I just looked at the registration, so. Yeah.
This weight, I feel like it's the Kyle Snyder effect, man. It's just you have no foreseeable way to make the world team at this weight, so why go this weight? I don't know.
What's crazy with Gatson is he never did anything in high school in freestyle. Like, I think he maybe won a match or two at Fargo.
Okay.
So yeah, he's kind of came on lately, but at the same time, I still think maybe Ty Walls is the guy here, the U.S. Open. I don't know. I say that without knowing if they have any previous matchups because I just can't remember, freestyle matches.
Yeah, I would say I bet Gatson beats Walls.
You think so?
Yeah. I feel like Kyvan's gotten pretty savvy at freestyle lately. Like he knows positioning, he knows all that stuff and how to use it to his advantage. Because I think he's pretty dang strong for a 97.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Huh. All right, so yeah, we just think it's probably gonna come down to them too. I don't think Burek quite has the horsepower to hang with those guys.
No.
All right.
Last weight, we had a huge development today.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, Jake Varner signs up.
When's the last time you wrestled? I was kind of texting with somebody, and we weren't really sure because neither of us looked, obviously. Like I said, I was busy at work. But
yeah. I think he came back out because didn't Snyder beat him to make the Olympic team?
That sounds right. I was thinking that Snyder wrestled him after already having a world title.
Yeah, Snyder beat him to make the Olympic team in 2016.
So that's not too far removed.
No. And now he's just at full feed. But, like, in my opinion, outside of Kuhn, like, I think he's going to, like, torch these guys. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah. Ray, he kind of was the guy for a while there, and I don't know, I wouldn't say dropped off. You just don't see these guys wrestle, really. But, yeah.
I just feel like Varner's going to get those ankle picks going, and, like, these guys, I don't know, maybe they can wrestle with it, but I feel like if he's up to, like, 235, 240, I mean, he'd be a good fit there.
You don't think Tony Nelson's going to give him fits there in the quarterfinals?
I don't think so. Tony's feet are too heavy. I think he's going to get picked apart probably.
Well, yeah, but if they're too heavy, then they won't move.
That's true.
Sit there just trying to move it.
That's true. How about Gable versus Kuhn first round?
Yeah, we're going to find out real quick.
Where are the kids at?
Yes.
I get it. He's a junior world champ, but give the kid the 5 seed, the high school senior.
Yeah, what's Tony Nelson thinking of that right now?
That's kind of a snub. Like, great college career, bud. You're seated behind a high school senior.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Alton twins do the seating on most of the freestyle stuff anyways. After going to the bar.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Yeah, right, man. Those guys are still down in Panama City.
Well, they do it from Panama City.
Live from Panama City at 3:30 in the morning. They just got home with their delivery or their food, their takeout. Bar's closed. All right, we got a seat to wait tonight. Let's get focused here.
And they're just gassed, too, just from the walk home.
Oh, yeah. Andrew's laying in the corner like, I can't see it right now. I'm tired.
Give me another beer. 3:30. We'll shoot for 3:30.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, God. All right. I don't know.
I think this weight's a pretty good one, man. It's a lot like, to me, it's kind of a lot like 61. There's so many guys there that I think that or could be interesting. I don't think there's not as many as 61, but if I'm picking one, I'd take Varner to win this weight.
Yeah, you're right. I guess until he shows me otherwise, because he gave Snyder everything he could handle, and Snyder's the best there is. So, I mean, if it wasn't for Snyder, Varner might have won the last how many world titles? You never know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anything else?
No, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this week. It's gonna be a great weekend of wrestling. I'm gonna be down in Iowa. We're coming down Friday.
Really?
Yeah, I'll be down all weekend. So.
Nice. Anything going on?
So with my dad's golf tournament last year, there was a progressive dinner that got auctioned off. And we are paying up on that. So we're going to host 3 different stops. We're the final stop at my mom's house, where we're cooking, we're doing surf and turf for the guests. There's 16 people coming to eat. So cooking steaks and crab legs and.
Jeez.
Yeah. We're going all out. And then they have a appetizer stop and then they have a dessert stop after us. But it should be pretty fun.
We'll have to, pump that up when it comes time around for 3 followers to see if they can pitch in or do something for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool deal you guys put on there for your dad.
Mm-hmm. So. All right.
I don't know where the segue is to end this or if we got more or what.
No, I think we just end it. Call it good.
Just cut it right now. Just no more. Okay.
Pull the plug on this episode.
Yeah, we're on a roll though, man. Hopefully this, we're putting them together pretty quick here. We didn't fight anybody though. Was a problem again.
No, but we landed lucrative business.
Yeah, I guess there's that. Or maybe try to get Asics or Adidas or something to sponsor us.
You gotta spend money to make money.
Oh, that's right. That's our problem. We haven't spent any money.
No.
I feel like Tony spent money on us, but that's it. So
that's why we're gonna give back. We're gonna spend money on Pat Downey.
Okay, there we go. All right. Buying low, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're buying low. I'm feeling he's desperate. He's staying at like the Motel 6 off the strip this weekend.
Just commuting back and forth from Iowa City, maybe?
They have a shuttle. He found a hotel with a shuttle. So he's out by the airport.
Yep. There you go.
All right.
Okay, well, I guess if you don't have anything else, this was episode 5 of the Shots Fired podcast. Follow along every week. We're going to keep trying doing this Monday thing. Seems to work pretty well. So next time we see you guys, we will have U.S. Open results to talk about. So
see you guys.
Yep, see ya.